Greg, good morning. Now, we saw the Australian Defence and Foreign Ministers meet overnight with their US counterparts. What came out of that meeting?
Morning, Michael. The truth is there's so much to digest here, as there is in Paris and as there is in Beijing, because Australia has historically bitten off so much in its alliance with the US and now with the UK in just the last 48 hours alone. We got another instalment here today. We're talking to you from the State Department headquarters in Washington, D.C., which was the scene of this year's AUSMIN talks involving Defence Secretary Lloyd Austin, Tony Blinken, the Secretary of State, and Australian counterparts Marise Payne and Peter Dutton. They spoke for more than 4 hours. Now, we don't know the full scale of commitments that were made there. Many new agreements were signed, but what we do know is that we're looking at a big follow-up to yesterday's submarine commitment for nuclear-powered subs coming Australia's way. We're now talking about extra US troops being garrisoned in Australia. Not necessarily permanently, that is not entirely clear. We're talking about planes that come more often for visits, planes of all shapes and sizes, right up to your big bombers. We're talking about maintenance crews, we're talking about US forces, military logisticians who will be in and around Australia more often. Now, Peter Dutton actually goes a little bit further here and introduces the idea of what may be, in his case, a personal ambition only, it's not clear, but introduces the idea of basing in Australia. His word, that was once considered controversial, maybe it still is, but why don't we hear some of Peter Dutton, the Defence Minister, explaining just how deep Australia is looking to get in here without giving us precise numbers just yet. Peter Dutton.
The air capability will be enhanced, our maritime capability enhanced, and certainly the force posture enhanced. And if that includes basing and includes the storage of different ordnances, I think that is in Australia's best interest, in our national interest at this point in time.
Peter Dutton speaking in Washington overnight. Greg, not surprisingly, China is very unhappy about this. What has that country had to say?
White hot with rage expressed by the Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Liyan. Now, there's a bit of Chinese idiom, I think, in the translation of what we're about to hear from Zhao Liyan, but we all, didn't we, fully anticipated a strong response from Beijing, and it hasn't disappointed. It's quite obvious that we can hear defence secretaries and secretaries of state here talking about these agreements, presidents, in fact, saying the same thing, and then assuring us that it's not directed at any one country in the Indo-Pacific region. Not so. I think we know entirely why Australia has arrived at the point that it is today and where it was yesterday with Joe Biden, Scott Morrison and Boris Johnson. So, predictably, we got that response from Beijing. Here is Zhao Liyan through translation. You will get the word threat. They feel threatened.
The relevant countries should abandon this outdated Cold War zero-sum game mentality and narrow-minded geopolitical outlooks. They should respect the hearts of the people in the region and do more things that are conducive to regional peace and stability. Otherwise, they will only shoot themselves in the foot.
Okay, so we're still trying to fully appreciate what the next few months and years might look like, and quite obviously China is too. So what we're hearing now from Beijing, only the first instalment, much more to come, I expect.